Hi guys, it's Lee. Today I'm going to be doing a review on Legend by Marie Lu. This is a YA dystopian novel that focuses on the journey of 15-year-old prodigy June and a teenage criminal called Day. The plot kicks off, and this isn't really a spoiler because it happens in the first two chapters, when June's brother Amicius is brutally murdered and the only suspect is Day. So their destinies are thrown together as June tries to avenge her brother and Day struggles to save his family's life. In this novel, the United States has basically been dissolved, and there is a new dictatorial-style government called the Republic, Los Angeles. This is where the story takes place. There was a few concepts that I found quite confusing. Apparently there's a lake in Los Angeles. Maybe this is total ignorance, but I just couldn't fathom that in my head. They were talking about there was a lake in the centre of all the districts, and then the sea was next to it or something. The way she was describing it, she wouldn't go into a big description of it, which is very hard to grasp. There was a few things though that I liked about the backstory. I liked the idea of the trials, have to take part in this kind of big state exam. I liked that idea. However, I wish they went into more detail about it. Some aspects again were I find that with dystopian novels though, they tend to kind of glaze over the backstory and how this world came to be, and I find that the most interesting part. But there's also a rival government in practice called the Colonials, and then there's the terrorist group called the Patriots, and we hardly hear anything about what's the core conflict kind of. I think I would have engaged more with the story if I had known what the war was about. I wish Marie Lu had strayed from the usual natural catastrophe plot line, because I think that's been done way too many times. I've read that in Divergent, The Hunger Games. It seems to me that dystopian books have kind of taken a turn where they just follow a formula. There's no creativity involved. Next, I'm going to talk about characters in Legend. In my opinion, I preferred the perspective of Day. I found him much more intriguing. I particularly enjoyed his flashbacks and his memories. I did find that they enhanced the story, and the only other person he cared about was this little girl called Tess. And I kind of wish we had seen his story from the start. She was fine, I guess. She's quite bland though, and she's very emotionless compared to Day. So I want to talk about the plot of Legend. At the beginning I was really interested in it, but I kind of just fell away. I just thought it was very lazy and very predictable. Also the writing style, I didn't like it at all. I find that the author uses very simple language, of contrived and sort of patronising to its audience. Yes, I know that YA is kind of seen as a quick read but still you want some descriptions, you want some idea of what the characters look like and what the setting is. We got none of that in Legend. It was very straightforward. Even the jumbotrons, which I picture as some big massive screens or something with advertisements on them, they hardly were given any description. I don't know, that always annoys me about YA, and that's why I kind of steer clear of it. Though, quick mention about the romance aspect of the book. Yeah. What? This is kind of a spoiler section for the romance part anyway. Spoilers, so turn it off if you haven't seen it. I understand that when Day is kidnapped and June has gotten to know him a little bit from their adventures together, but I don't understand how she would just leave everything behind that she knows and just try and help him. He's a criminal, and for someone with such high intelligence, I just thought that their attraction was it just seemed very artificial, and for two people who are very intellectual, you think they'd get along better maybe on conversation. That didn't come across at all. I thought it was kind of lure to bring a bigger audience in this romance, which seems to happen a lot. Can you not just have a good YA book with no romance? Please, again, if anyone wants to leave a comment with a book that you think would redeem my opinion of YA books, that'd be quite helpful. Some people will like it for a quick summer read, but it isn't really for someone looking thoughtful or meaningful. It's quite just to the point. While Day I thought was developed well, June lacked substance, and the villains were unsympathetic. The setting was hard for me to visualise. I won't come back for the sequel, unfortunately. It just didn't grab me enough. There wasn't even a cliffhanger at the end. It was quite, bye. 5 stars. I would give this book 3. I would say 2, but 3 because I wasn't expecting much from it anyway. I knew what I was getting into. There was some good action moments, some good twists, but overall it was very predictable. Hopefully my next read will surpass this. So yeah, that's all for now. Tune in next time for my I'm Not Scared review.